You know, this is this. First Corinthians chapter 9. And says, am I not an apostle? Am I not free? Have I not seen Jesus Christ our Lord? Are not he my work in the Lord? If I be not an apostle unto others, yet doubtless I am to you. For the seal of mine apostleship, are ye in the Lord? Mine answer to them that do examine me is this: have we not power to eat and to drink? Have we not power to lead about a sister or wife, as well as other apostles, and as the brethren of the Lord? And see this? Or I only and brothers have not we power to forbear working, and who goeth forth there any time at his own charges? Who planted the vineyard, and eateth not of the fruit thereof? Or who feedeth a flock, and eateth not of the milk of the flock? Say I these things as a man, or said not the law the same also? For it is written in the law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the corn. Does God take care for oxen? Or said he it altogether for our sakes on verse of our sakes, no doubt this is written, that he that ploweth should plow in hope, and that he that thresheth in hope should be partaker of his hope. And if we have sown unto you spiritual things, is it a great thing if we shall reap your carnal things? If others be partakers of this power over you, are not we rather? Nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things, lest we should hinder the gospel of Christ. Do you not know that they which minister about holy things live of the things of the temple, and they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? Even or have the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel? And I've been in been to the altar. You know that? When did I ever hide from the altar? That's the funny thing about it. When did I ever hide from an altar? Which church? Give me a church specifically, please and thank you. And when I always ask for a ride, if I needed one, hey, because this is a hot walk. Do you have the people pick me up? Many times I've been, hey, but when do I make an attempt to come over Bible study? Let's have a study together, you know what I mean? So we could always, be real with each other. On and off the camera. You know what I mean? So even so have the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. But I have used none of these things, neither have I written these things, that it should be so done unto me. For it were better for me to die than that any man should make my glory void. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessary is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. See, a lot of people need to understand, I preach the gospel. And everyone keeps on yakking at me, but I have preached the gospel several many times. I practice what I preach. I've been talking about this the whole time. That's the whole message. Because a lot of people will say, oh, Christian this and Christian that. But then again, why are we arguing and beating up each Christians, Because why? There's some people, here's the thing. I've been telling these people telling y'all for a long time. And again, you just don't get it. See, we should be preaching to the choir. Okay? We should be preaching to the choir and coming, together. Yes, people have different talents. We have different ways of, we have our things. Okay? I made my mistakes. I say clearly. And I've been practicing what I preach. It's basically what he's saying. And glorifying him, that's what we're supposed to do. Yes, we have our, there's been, saying, people, like a lot of people these days, they go about and say this and that, and why is this, and trying to make other people mad, or something like that. And I'm not here to make you mad. I mean, hey, sometimes I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I get like overwhelmed. Sometimes I do. I could get that way because guess what? I look. There's a lot of things that I have things to work on, and I have tried, and time and time again. Now to beat you up, no. To call an individual defeated, you're not defeated. Because you're not a defeated foe. First of all, it's not about flesh and blood. It's about spiritual principality. So if you're doing something that really he's is not quite fitting, I guess you could say he doesn't look. He's all knowing, right? He knows you're not gonna be, this, oh, look at me. So why are we here even dividing the church by saying you're this, like a emo Christian and cool Christian, Hollywood Christian? Why are we doing that? When you actually should be, so you're basically separating the church. But if we all are Christians, and basically Christian, you're supposed to have, have Jesus regardless, right? Guess what? You have to be a believer first. You have to be a believer. You you believe to have everlasting life, right? Well, if you don't believe, you're gonna perish. John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son. Whoever believes him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. And look at this though. You look at his word. His word remains. Heavens and earth may pass, but his word remains. Look, so if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you go to Jehovah's Witness, Bible to use. Hey, look at John 3:16. Look at a Catholic Bible, John 3:16. You go to a Christian Bible, Christian Bible, the King James Version. You know what? Like, they have different ones that, they use. I guess different things, in the thing. But John 3:16 is John 3:16 says what it says. You know what I mean? And you got to believe. You got to be a believer before anything. You got to refuse the mark of the beast. You know what I mean? And for the ones that, you're here, you're saying, you know what I'm saying, and they try to get you to do, take it in your hand, or, on your, the thing on your forehead, you know what I'm saying? You better refuse. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can't, you don't see what I'm trying to tell you? So why are we coming at each other, trying to whip each other? I mean, yeah, we have a differences of what we like and dislikes, of course. But you must know get to know the Lord. Jesus Christ is the only way to the Father, right? So why are we arguing and say who's better? Like Becca said, this is the reason why I said this. I'm not the one that walks on a red carpet, okay? But if you see, it would be hypocritical to talk so low on somebody when you're doing the same thing. See, that's why I don't really judge. Do I have to be, like, you could be kind to evil and still not do evil. You understand? You don't do evil for evil. Overcome evil with good. Like 2 wrongs don't make a right. You ever heard of that? So and what matters is you glorify, you praise the Lord, you worship Him. Remember, all glory belongs to God, right? It's not about, who you subscribes and views and likes, right? So here it goes, testing all spirits. Notice that I notice whenever I subscribe to people, and people say it's not about subscribes and likes or whatever. It's so funny. I still pay attention to you all, but I notice every time I unsubscribe to you all, you get mad. You really get mad. But it's not like, and you say I hate you? That's crazy. But out of your mouth, people's mouth, they say, it's not about that. But you know full well it is that you get mad about that. But you see, God didn't need social media, to be honest with you. Jesus didn't need social media. He preached up on hilltops. So if we were to really think about let's get to the really nitty gritty. Just saying, and when you guys do, and I never said Christian rap was whack. When did that come out of my mouth? First of all, and plus, anyways, I don't try to judge any artist, and the reason why I don't judge any artist, because in reality, people, like, believers, that are believers, didn't people come from that, you've done wrong too in your life. I mean, some people that change their life around, from being atheist to this, then you should know, hey, even ones that do, you can't really say much about them. You can help them out, then, talk to them, because you know about that stuff. See, I didn't do it by any means, like, as in Ouija boards and all that. So I don't really know about that stuff, because guess what? It's either, use my imagination or stuff like that. But I've been brought up in his word. Yeah, I listen to some, music that's, been, listen to rock and roll before, and I know that stuff. I watched movies before, and I look, I even have video games, so I don't really play much, but it'd be nice to have two players, like, sometimes I like to myself sometimes. But me being scared? No. Actually, I have been on stage. As a matter of fact, I rapped on stage twice. Okay? And in reality, yeah, it was alright. But I'll tell you what, and it felt good. Like, I didn't know it was spec, but I was freestyling. You see, there's a lot of things that I just, I do things that are different with me. It's like, but it was funny because even though the darkest times of my life, one of the darkest times, I know God has always been there. And I trust God. When it comes down to going on stage, the only stage I've been on was church. I didn't perform like concerts, and I'm not here to do concerts like that. No, because that's not me. I can't play guitar like that. I'll give props quick at how you do guitar. I really don't. But I'll learn. I like to play guitar, yes, of course. I play drums, but the difference between you and I is not that I'm saying I'm better than you, but it's between you and whoever does that. You'll probably play better than me, but I have fun playing it. I love playing it. You know what I'm saying? I do. I like instruments, but me, recording, that would be the rapper singing, but me doing, I haven't been, had the money to handle that, but I've been to, music stores and played, stuff like that. And, of course, I play because with love and, not, I don't try to, I don't know how to explain it. But if you really, think of it, it's like I do it because I try to love and try to use and reach out and try my best. And yes, sometimes I talk about life. Hey, it's not just picking at you. It's life in general. You have your relationships. You have all of that. But make sure you glorify the Lord. You want a strong foundation in marriage? That's how marriages actually can last longer. Especially you go to church and you go to church, and you see the elders. Look how I've seen some that lasted for 60 years. Yes, you're going to have ups and downs and stuff like that. You think it's just going to be, you're going to have ups and downs relationship with God. You are. While we're here, it's a bump. He puts you to tests and stuff, and you're going to mess up. He knows this. But, but you people bashing each other, it's ridiculous. It really is. And that's the reason why I said sometimes social media and news could get really, whatever. That's why I'd rather see people off of Zoom, because you see in person, you get to be around them in person Bible study. And I know sometimes you do Zoom because they're too far, but there's some people locally that, hey, I used to be locally in a big city, but, they'll pick you up anywhere you could go. And, if you needed it in whatever case may be. And, Hey, you be on fire, you know what I'm saying, on fire for the Lord. You know, that stuff is awesome, but when you get to like little, little cities like this, it doesn't happen like it's different areas, different, and it's not like that. It really isn't. But it's not putting someone down. It's just like, but make sure everything you do, you glorify God. You should be on the same page. Oh, not this or this and this and that, or you this and that, but you need to focus on yourself. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're helping out. Yes, iron sharpens iron. Thank you so much. But every little thing you went walking on eggshells on somebody else, stalking, that's a little over exaggerating. Then you're not, you're just trying to be in control. See, God lets man have free will. But he as well doesn't, want you to do this and this and that. But when it comes to people being so controlled, like taking control of your Gmails, stalking your Gmails, and stuff like that, or anything like that, like taking control of your stuff, and deleting everything because they're jealous and they don't want you to have control of anything that you have, God doesn't do that. See, I don't have to have my Gmails, as a matter of fact. So there goes to show you, hey, I'm not a wolf in sheep's clothing. You see, I mean, I got nothing to hide. Anyways, for though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yeah, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward, but against my will, a disposition of the gospel is committed unto me. What is my reward then? Verify that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. Yeah, so that means, what that means is telling you, hey, how you going to abuse the power thinking you're better than the next? You really can't say you're better than the next and say, oh, you need to do this or do this and that. I'll make you feel so low and this and this and that. You can never make it. You're so defeated. You do this and da 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 da. Oh, I got more than you. You need to do this. You need to do that. Oh, you get low. You got no money. Oh, this. Oh, I got this money. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. God is blessing me more. You're not blessed because you got no money. You can't say that. Solomon, he had money. He had his own problems. And there was the other ones that didn't have, money, and Jesus still loved them. But this of the gospel is committed unto me. What is my reward then? Verily that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant to all, that I might gain the more. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without, as without law, being not without law to God, but under the law to Christ, that I might gain them that are without law. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partakers thereof with you. Know you not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may attain, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to attain a crown, but we in incorruptible. I therefore so run that not as in uncertainly so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, that by any means when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. So nevertheless, like people think that they're better than the next, and and stuff like, and it's, you shouldn't be thinking you're better than next just because you think you done this and done that. Remember, you're not better than the next, because you remember he said, Lord, and then he was talking about having you cast out demons, they cast out demons, and he, done this and that, and he said, "Depart from me, I never knew you." So if you're casting out demons, you're doing that, and he still doesn't know you. You see what I'm saying? So you really can't say you're better than the next. If you say you're doing all this stuff, you still can't say that you're better than the next person. That's why you must remain humble. Yes, you may, be doing all of that. Hey, it's all for his good. But what are your heart intentions while doing it? And are you trying to think you're better or showing off? What's your heart intentions when you say, hey, look what I'm doing, you're not? Or look at this and all that's all, look at how, you know what I'm saying? Is your right hand to be seen? Do you need to be on camera showing what you're doing? Because, see, I didn't always need to, pray for somebody and be seen with the camera. Make others happy, you know what I'm saying? Can you make others happy, sing with them and do like that? Pray for them like that? Without your hand being seen? See, I don't always right hand to be seen, but I also share my life to confess my sins, and basically I share with everybody. And when I confess my sins, I've become cleansed and been forgiven. And regardless of what people think, they got their own problems, hey. But I was willing to share. I've been a willing vessel. I shared everything I got. Because it's not like you guys can come to me on social media, but at least I shared it in a way, so that way, hey, even though, hey, everyone's on the phone now these days, right? Usually most of the people, they're on their phones, they get something. So basically, I have went and shared. It goes, right? It's supposed to stretch. It's supposed to go that way, long way. So yeah, so technically on and off. And you see, I just don't do it live on social media. I actually do little videos, so that way it's either or. It's not really on social media. It's just, and if, let's just say, when it's time to go, hey, the phone is, is left here and we go, and I'm part of the elect, you know what I'm saying? 144,000, guess what? And guess what? It's here for people who need it. It's always here. And, and whatever case may be. Regardless of what, it's still That's what I do this. But, because I know it's for his good. But I test every spirit. And what I'm saying? But of course I do it for him. I do it with him. Jesus Christ is my best friend. And I said this many times, man. And it's not putting anybody down because I said I'm thankful. Whoever you are. And I'm trying to be their best of sport, even though they didn't. I'm there too. Even though I get chewed up. Hey, I've been there. Regardless of what you want to say, I've been there. And sometimes, yeah, it does hurt sometimes. It does. Especially if people say you don't do crap. Or anything like that. And it does. It's like everything I put effort in, it feels like, hey, it took all that, the kind of manhood away from me. Like, all the stuff that I done, it feels like all the stuff that I put in, it's like people make it feel like that. It happens. And it'll feel like, dang, like they with everything, like all your efforts. And they make you feel so, and I know what that feels like. So, right here, I'm telling you, nevertheless, regardless, you keep going. You focus on Jesus. No matter how lonely it may seem, it may get. You keep going. You keep pushing. You stay focused. Regardless if you feel like you messed up and you can't, because guess what? If you ever did the most unforgivable sin, whatever the case may be, I feel like, what is the point of even trying? That's how much I love God. Because you see, I feel like if anyone's done that, why did he wake you up? It would be, I feel like, why would he do that? Why would he give anybody purpose, like that? Because see, if you love God and stuff like that, he loves you, and you do the most, then if you mess up right away? All of it. What's to keep on trying? You know what I mean? So evidently, hey, if you wake up and you got another chance in life, then you must have not messed up that bad. Or whatever case may be, or, you still have a chance. I feel like, I even feel like it's not, I'm saying feel like, but hey, you know what? Jesus wept. He had tears. So guess what? Evidently he felt. Jesus died on a cross for our sins, and God risen him from the dead on the third day. And he said, forgive them, Father, and I know what they do. And, and he said as well, which one's easier? Forgive sins or rise up and walk? So, I mean, he's healed. He's healed people. Healed the ears of the enemy. He's healed people's ears. The deaf. He's healed the blind. He healed. He what you call it? Even loved the prostitutes of who they were and healed her. He's done so much. He fed thousands of people, fish and bread. And look at this. It says, the Lord Jesus, which was when he had given thanks, he broke and said, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This is do in remembrance of me." And after the same man also he took the cup, and when he had supped, saying, "This cup is the New Testament in my blood, and this do you as oft as you drink it in remembrance of me." Wine for the blood and bread for the body. So, like I'm trying to tell you that, like I said, he's there. If you ever need to go to him, and you can, I want to tell you, he's the best friend you could ever have. And God is the father of the fatherless. So I'm letting you know, if you are going through it and you have really nobody, you feel like you're nobody to go to, like you don't have no family, you could be adopted. I mean, he adopts. And he's always there. The best father you could ever have, actually. And hey, I'm thankful. Because been through all my life, and I'm living proof. I'm a walking testimony. It's a miracle. You know what? The first miracle, when you wake up and you have breath, that's a miracle. I appreciate my breath. Every living thing that has breath, praise the Lord. Okay? I know about that because, hey, I was born. And yes, I appreciate my breath. And I'm not wasting, I haven't wasted any. Do I make mistakes? Do I know everything? I mean, I don't know everything. But hey, do I make mistakes? Absolutely. Like I said, God will always be greater. I'm not here to be praised and worshiped. I'm not here to do good, to seek praise. But I have sinned, and I have repented, asked forgiveness. I made mistakes. I've made mistakes, and you see, I don't watch, porn anymore. It was a few times, a little while ago, but I stopped. Again, it's that I'm addicted to it. But I made mistakes in life. I have messed up. But thank God that he saved me, because I've been through a lot. And that's something I don't gotta make up. But I share. I share his love. You see the difference in my writing. And you see, I used to write, I've always been writing, but you see the difference over, it's way different. It's more lyrical, it's more deep in depth, it's more, you can see the progress. And a lot of people say, oh, you talk like trash, you talk like this, you talk. But if you notice how I write, you can't really say I'm dropping this F-bomb and this, how I'm talking, being right, all of that stuff the way I was talking before, huh? You see? So evidently, my faith has works. Like they said, it says faith without works is dead, right? Well, I have works. And I'm able to walk longer than I was. Hey, I'm thankful. And I praise the Lord. And I glorify the Lord. I've been thankful. I show appreciation. And by the way, if God can help me through all of this, he can help you. Because, hey, and by the way, it's not about the money. It really is not about the money. I mean, yes, money could buy you happiness temporarily, but it's not everything. You can have money, okay, cool, good for you. But guess what? It comes and goes. But God is always there. You know, Jesus flipped the tables on the bill collectors. So that shows you, therefore, how money is. Okay? Just saying. God bless y'all. And much love. And by the way, here you go again. Read the Bible to you. So you can't say I have done that. I read the Bible. And it's not to be seen, but it's just to show you, hey, regardless, I've been here. Like, you know, and by the way, another thing, this is how, you know, real stuff, real what happened. And, you know, plenty of times random people came to me and told me to preach. There's one let's for a couple of, examples, just even two. I went to the grocery store, Aldi's, and they said, oh, I was gonna, be example for kids and preach the gospel. You know, I've done that. And as well, this is late last time I did that. Not that long ago. There's this other woman. She was one of those that I was nervous. I was, how I was doing push-ups around, where I was going at, walking, but street. Like I said, I was doing, but this is random female I seen jump in the middle of traffic. I don't know, but she just out of the middle of nowhere. After I got done with the day at the work. She said, you know what? You should preach. You need to preach. And I said, huh? What? And it's out in the middle of nowhere. I said, I said, well, how do you, I do preach already. And she said, look, everybody preaches, she said. But I need to preach. So that had to tell me that I must preach. And you know what? And I do. But that means something to me because she said, everybody wants to preach, but you need to preach. And I just saw her walking around. There's a random, person. I don't know. I forgot her name. I don't remember. But, like I said, I was worried, and, she was alright looking, but, it's not about the looks. But I'm saying, though, she's a cute little thing, just doing her thing. She was, I don't know, she seemed free. I mean, I'll tell you what, she seemed a little bit, seemed free. The way that she, I don't know what, I was like, what, what the... You know what I'm saying? But it was funny. It was funny to me. But I was worried too. But I said, you know what? Now we walked down, from where I was working at a little bit, halfway where I was working at. But we walked a bit together. And yeah. And don't know what ever happened to her since. But that's another, confirmation I get. I've been that so many times. I've been said I was gonna be a preacher, rapper, and look what I am. You see, and and in a personal relationship with me and God, through on a song I did, with somebody, an encounter with God and Jesus. He's for real. So I'm really serious. That's the reason why, it's been a calling, and I am thankful for it. And, you can preach the gospel, outside the, four walls of the church. But, hey, I'm not scared to go to the altar, though. But if you can be outside the church building. Because, Jesus went everywhere. So, God bless you all. Much love.